Yeah, to answer the first part of that question, being a Hmong American for me has been a journey, and it still is a journey of finding my identity, being secure in both my cultural Hmongness and accepting and really living into what that means, but also growing up as a US citizen, being the first generation born here from immigrants that immigrated here from Laos and from Thailand because of war. Some of the culture in the 80s and the 90s really were not familiar with Hmong people at the time. And so talking about the food that we ate, the cultural practices that we had were a little different to some of my friends. And the pressure of wanting to have a normal narrative of origin felt like explaining to people where my family comes from and how we got to Minnesota was hard. But now, as an adult, I really take a lot of pride in knowing that this is my story and this is how we moved from this place in wartime to the US. It was in high school when I was going to graduate high school that I met my now wife, and getting to meet her opened up a different avenue to me that I didn't know was an avenue. Both my parents were confessing Christians and were baptized, but we didn't go to church. And so I think the terminology there is that our family was nominal. And so when I met my wife, Pa, one of the invitations that I got was to visit her at church. And so I consistently went to church, dating her. And that's really when I found faith. And so God has really moved me from looking at identity as a Hmong American to placing me on a path of looking at the world through the lens of faith. The cultural context in America has changed a little bit. And so I'm now the older person in the room, with some things to say that some people don't want to hear or some people are interested in, but I'm glad still for the conversations, because it's a moment to connect the dots for some people, and it's also a moment for me to realize in conversation where I've been, where my family comes from, and in the midst of that, how God has been shaping that for me as a faith person.